Welcome to Catholic Chicago. This is the Black Catholic Initiative. I'm Deacon Jim Norman, Vicar for Deacons with the Archdiocese of Chicago, sitting in for Father Michael Trail. On Black Catholic Initiative, we bring you the experiences and perspectives and insights of Black Catholics of the Archdiocese of Chicago, from north to south and east to west. We discuss what's happening, who and what is having an impact in the Catholic community, and how we can move forward in faith that is Catholic and uniquely Black. With me today, I'm delighted to have the pastor of Our Lady of Africa Parish in Bronzeville, Father Carl Gales. Welcome, Father Carl.
Thank you for having me, Deacon Jim. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you so much for being here with us. We've been trying to make this happen for a while. There's so many great things going on at Our Lady of Africa, and especially then as Bronzeville as a result. We want to take this time to let our audience get to know you a bit. Get to know a little bit about your religious order, who has a special connection to Chicago and has been committed to Chicago and Black Catholics for a long time. We also want to then get your experiences and your perspectives on the newly formed parish of Our Lady of Africa. Not so newly formed, but moving forward in faith. So maybe let's start, Father Carl. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I am a new priest. I was ordained in 2022, May 28th, and it's been a journey, quite a interesting one. And I am a divine work missionary, and our order, our congregation really serves the needs of those who are on the margins. We are one of the first missionary orders that has catered to serve the Black community, not only in parish missions or mission parishes, but also in ordaining Black men to the priesthood. So that is our particular strength, and we bring a lot of energy of meeting people where they are at, making sure that we go to places where other people are not so equipped to go. We really, our charism is really deeply formed in this kind of idea of that wherever we go, Jesus, God is already there. And it's for us to discover the ways in which God is operating and moving in that community before we even get there. And so it makes sense that we take an approach of discover instead of implement. We discover what's there, we discover the gifts, we discover the treasures that are God-given. And we do our best to unearth it and also to give, let it flourish. And I think this is what's happening at Our Lady of Africa at this moment. I thank God to be placed in this particular parish where there are so many talented people, and not only talented people, people who are engaged in mission work, people who are engaged in ministry, people who really are desiring to live out the gospel, not only in word, but also in deed.
I wanted to ask, Father, how long have the order, the divine word, how long have you been in Chicago?
We've been in Chicago, I believe, since the 30s. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's been quite a long time. Our two parishes in the south side have been St. Elizabeth's and also St. Anselm. And so you can imagine, with the formation of Our Lady of Africa, those two parishes are with us still.
And for our audience too, as we are in this renewed configuration, you say Our Lady of Africa, that was formerly 5 parishes in Bronzeville?
Yes, St. Ambrose, St. Anselm, Corpus Christi, St. Elizabeth, and Holy Angels, where we have our masses and celebrations right now.
And And you still have a connection with the school, the Holy Angel School?
Yes, yes, we do. And it's getting stronger and stronger each year.
Wonderful.
Very impressed with the new principal, Principal Tiffany Brown. She brings a wealth of experience, and she has transformed the school. And our ties, our commitment to the school is getting stronger, and also building the bridge between the school and the parish. It's really a wonderful thing to see.
Okay. And I was going to ask, you use the word discover as being a charism of your order. It's kind of discovering what's there. God is already there, already at work. You've talked about these five parishes that have come together in a very unique way. And I think this is the only grouping that went through Renew My Church where there were five parishes that
Indeed,
became one.
that is
Um,
correct.
what did you discover there? As you said, ordained almost 3 years now. As you came there as the new pastor, what did you discover?
I discovered people who are deeply committed to social justice, um, uh, people who are deeply committed to service. It really amazes me at the amount of people who are willing to serve in whatever capacity there is. Also, people who are engaged socially, and we have so many professionals who are engaged in social work, health services, um, and it's just a really great parish to be involved with and praying with, especially. We've definitely enhanced making sure that all parts of our expression of worship and mission are tended to. For example, making sure that adoration and daily mass and other activities, help to make a firm foundation for all of our mission or ministry activities. We make sure that prayer is the central focus and the first priority before we go out to all the world and spread the good news.
As you look back at your time there at Our Lady of Africa, what have been highlights for you? Key highlights, memorable moments.
Memorable moments. I would say, uh, personally, uh, really what touched me was when the announcement had been made that I was formally the pastor of the parish. I did not have a desire to have an installation.
Mm.
Uh, for me, I thought it was a bit much. Uh, Being that I'd been there already, I'd been there for close to 3 years. And so I'm not one to kind of want, well, I mean, it's kind of hard. I'm the pastor and I'm before people all the time. But I am actually an introvert. And so a little, that was a bit much for me. I didn't want it so much pomp around that. But what really impressed me was that I think the week after it was announced and they planned a reception for me, that the community gathered around me and prayed me in.
Mm. Okay.
Uh, that was deeply meaningful to me. First of all, because it wasn't coming from me, it was an expression of the community and their assent and their affirmation of me as the pastor of the parish. It went a long way, and I still get chills to this moment uh, uh, thinking about that moment. I'll never forget it.
It sounds like it fits so much with the charism of your order that it was more important to have the community pray and join with you than to be what I'll call installed or some formal outside ceremony within your community.
Yes.
So, I wanted to go a little bit more into your background, Father, because you have quite an accomplished background before coming
Yes.
to Our Lady of Africa. So if you could just share a little bit about your background, like where you're from, tell us about your schooling, tell us about your careers and experiences you had before becoming an ordained priest.
Okay, so I was born in Baltimore, Maryland, but grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. And it was there with my mom and my sister that we kind of started a new life,
Mhm.
which was really fortuitous for me, is because where God had placed us, there were so many different opportunities as far as the music. And it had been a dream of mine to always learn how to play the piano. And when I finally kind of uh, taught myself, in a sense, the people, basically gathered around me to support me in my endeavor. And I really, at that point, when I was young, had the desire of becoming a concert pianist.
Okay.
Um, my the people that I looked up to were, Vladimir Horowitz and Arthur Rubinstein, uh, Van Cliburn, and many of the great pianists. And so that desire and that dream took me to many places. I was blessed to go to Carnegie Hall and perform there. I was blessed to participate in so many different summer music festivals and programs. And eventually I went to Indiana University for my bachelor's degree in music performance. Also, while I was there, I had the opportunity of becoming a vocal coach and also learning the ways and the mechanics of the voice, which served me in good stead later. Also, I was able to go to Cincinnati Conservatory of Music to
Mm.
pursue the master's. And also through that, I also went to France, where I spent 2 years with a study abroad program. And it
Wow.
was there that I discovered that maybe God was leading me in a different direction. Um, the money had run out, and I had to figure out some kind of way of of living. And it was there that I kind of made the switch um, to become a Catholic musician, music director. Uh, Another part of my journey was converting to Catholicism, and that was in the year of the Jubilee in 2000. Uh,
Wow. Okay.
was, um, I'm sorry, I'm going back and forth, but
No,
this
that's
it'll all make sense later. Uh,
okay.
so,
Okay.
um, becoming Catholic in 2000, um, the stirrings of the priesthood had kind of, started there, but I quickly kind of let that go because I was still pursuing music.
Okay.
When it was becoming clear to me that the avenues to become a concert pianist, um, things weren't panning out as I'd hoped, and so I had to figure out some other ways of making a living. And I became a music director. And my first music director position was actually at an SVD parish. An SVD parish that had actually been a merger of two, Blessed Sacrament, Our Lady of the Divine Shepherd in Trenton, New Jersey. And so uh, that was my first
Mm.
uh, encounter with the SVDs. My second job as a music director happened when I went to Atlanta, Georgia. And Atlanta, Georgia, St. Peter and Paul Catholic Church, again, another African American parish where the Smith twins, Charles and Chester,
Mm. Mm.
were frequent um, people, priests who came to the parish. And so again, the encounters with the SVD. My last job as a music director was actually at the Cathedral of St. Joseph in Jefferson City, Missouri, which was a primarily white congregation. But at that time, I was, still thinking about the priesthood, and so the SVDs uh, followed me there. The vocation director is Father Adam, who I attribute the reason why I am a priest and also an SVD, came to Missouri, to Jefferson City, Missouri, and was very encouraging and said, I think you have a vocation and let's pursue it. And so that's what happened. And so in July of 2014, I began my seminary studies in Epworth, Iowa. And the rest is pretty much history. Uh, and it's a history that I could not have imagined for myself. Um, you say you make your plans, but God really
Mm.
makes plans. And so, falling in line with uh, Jesus' call for my life has led to so many extraordinary moments that I'll never forget.
As you think about, and you just tell a wonderful story, as you look back and think about providence and how God was working in your life, are there lessons or a couple of lessons, one or two that you might share or insights you might share with our audience about hearing and heeding God's call in their life, whether it be someone considering a diaconate, priesthood, religious, or just a deeper call into their faith? Is there anything you'd offer them based on your experience?
Based on my experience, I would say um, God works through the contrasts.
Mm.
And I say that to mean that I grew up in some circumstances that were not ideal. And there was certainly some chaotic moments, things that were very disturbing. But at the same time, there are moments where God steps in. And when God steps in, there's peace.
Mm.
And those peaceful moments have been the anchors of my life that have kind of been signals to me of God's presence and also of God's clearing the path for a new direction.
Okay.
I say that to mean that at one point in my life, when I stepped into um, a, a Catholic church as an adult for the first time to worship, there was an immediate peace
Mm.
that I could not, ignore. It was so palpable and visceral, this peace that came over me when I experienced the Mass for the first time. That never left me.
Mm.
The peace when I asked the question to God, did do you want me to become a priest? That peace came
Mm.
again. Uh, the third time this peace entered my life was the very first day that I began my seminary studies. Again, that peace came over me to let me know that this was the right path. So I would caution uh, the people who are, discerning God's call for their lives to really heed those contrasting moments where there is no mistaking that God has entered into your soul and given you that light and clarity that you need. Those are often the signals that to say, pay attention.
Thank you for that. I thank you for that. It's so, yeah, thank you. Very profound. Thank you for sharing that with our audience. I want to talk about, I know that there was you established, and this is maybe your musical background, you established the Our Lady of Africa Music Fund.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that fund and what the intent of that fund, what you'd hope that fund would achieve?
The intent behind the fund was to provide opportunities for music performance and education, liturgical education, and workshops, not just for Our Lady of Africa, but as you know, our mission is growing in holiness with a mission to serve. We've been blessed with so many talented people that it would be a shame for us just to kind of lock ourselves in and silo ourselves and say the blessings are just for us within these four walls. The OLA Music Fund is really for the Black Catholics in the Archdiocese of Chicago. And so providing opportunities, moments for us to be together as Black Catholics, learning, worshiping together. Those are the things that we're seeking to provide with the OLA Music Fund. We also celebrate those people who have been very instrumental in music, African American Catholic music, in locally and also throughout the country. So our first recipient of our Tolton Liturgical Award was Maestro Tyrone Pittman,
Okay.
who was the music director of our parish. Um, but he's not only been the music director of our parish, he's served the archdiocese for
Hmm.
so many years.
Yes.
And just so you know, and maybe you have already known, that he will also be awarded the Pierre Toussaint Award this coming February.
Mhm.
And it's well deserved. He has really gone above and beyond, not only making sure that the music, liturgical music at our parish is really well respected throughout the archdiocese, but also he lends his talents to Colby House.
Mm.
He lends his talents to other ecumenical services, archdiocesan events, and other parishes throughout the archdiocese. It's remarkable, and so he was well deserving of that award. Um, we also we had our workshop, our first workshop, which took place in November, and we were blessed to bring in W. Clifford Petty, uh, renowned composer, vocalist, and clinician. And it was a phenomenal time where I think there was representation from all of the African American parishes in the archdiocese.
And that was a full day. This workshop was a full day event
Yes.
with Clifford Petty kind of facilitating that day.
Hmm.
Our parishioners at Our Lady of Sorrows were involved. So, like you said, all Black Catholic parishes invited to attend.
Hmm.
Their choir members, choir directors, and pastors were present, right? So it was a
Indeed.
very uplifting day. Certainly, it had a musical focus, but it was more than that,
Yes.
is my sense.
And my prayer is that it will only continue to grow. The word will get out that, you know, these are times where we focus in on Black Catholic liturgical expression and the importance of nurturing that, enhancing it, improving it, and doing that together, not separate, not separate parishes doing their own things, but, you know, we're working together to do this together because it's so necessary in this day and age to kind of band together our forces.
Let me just take a moment and acknowledge your leadership in this space. So not only are you taking on the coming together of five parishes to one, um, recognized, newly ordained, um, taking on a commitment to advancing music ministry in the Black Catholic Church in the Archdiocese of Chicago as well. Um, thank you for your vision and your insight related to that in all your efforts to this point. What's next as it relates to the OLA Music Fund? What do you see as next?
Well, we hope to do another workshop, and in 2026, the plan is to also have a music gala again.
Okay.
And so hopefully, this is something that will spark an interest not only within our archdiocese, but kind of do something regionally, to bring more and more Black Catholics together um, in this
So,
region.
so our viewers should look for on the Our Lady of Africa website,
Mhm.
um, and even through their own parish bulletins, the occurrence of another music workshop,
Indeed.
and the music gala,
Yes.
which
In
I think
2026.
2026, a
Yes.
music gala. Um, how can the audience and listeners, how can they support the music fund?
They can support the music fund by their donations and just uh, letting people know that this is not just to serve our parish. This is actually for African American Catholics throughout the archdiocese. So we're providing services and things for the wider community as well.
So Michael has put up the website for us. So you go to the website,
I believe you
there,
can go to donate and donate. You there will be a music fund. Uh,
there you go. I think Michael has it there.
there, yeah. But if it's not, we'll make sure that it's there. Okay. Yeah.
There'll be a way for you to donate directly to the music fund.
Hmm.
I, some of our audience members may have been asking, you had said you converted to Catholicism.
I did. Yes.
What was your faith? What were you practicing before? Or were you practicing at all?
Oh, I was definitely practicing. I was a Church of God in Christ, and to that end, uh, uh, I've not ever kind of relinquished my ties to Church of God in Christ. That's part of me
Okay.
that'll never go away. And I'm very proud that I was a part of the Church of God in Christ. My mother's Church of God in Christ, and many of my friends are Church of God in Christ. Uh, Interestingly enough, Maestro Tyrone Pittman was Church of God in Christ before becoming
Okay.
Catholic, and meeting W. Clifford Petty to know that he also was Church of God in Christ before he became Catholic was it's very very interesting and uh, not surprising because there's such an emphasis and excellence in Church of God in Christ in music.
Hmm.
Uh, it's it really has impacted so many different genres of music. Uh, uh, that any artist, many major artists in the entertainment industry have all kind of had their influence by someone or some group that has been Kojic or is Kojic.
And so we can't leave without letting our audience know what's Mass time at Our Lady of Africa. If they want to hear a phenomenal choir and a
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal homilist, um, just come to Our Lady of Africa.
Yes, I
And
really about
and you may even they may even be graced and blessed to hear you sing or do a solo or lead the choir. Now, what
yes.
time is Mass at Our Lady of Africa?
We have a vigil mass on Saturday at 4 p.m. We have an early mass at 9 on Sunday, and also our gospel mass at 11:30 a.m. And we also have uh, the Igbo community that worships the last two Sundays of the month, and our a French-speaking African community that has mass on the first Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Igbos at 2:30, French at 4:30.
All right. And Michael May is showing pictures that come from the website. I also want to note that Father Carl is very active on social media. You can catch him on Facebook. find out where he's at, where he might be dining, where he might be singing, where he might be presenting,
Right.
or just what's on his mind. So please look to follow him on Facebook and other social media that he might be engaged with.
Yeah, we also have our 11:30 Mass live stream on YouTube and also on Facebook. So Our Lady of Africa, Chicago, you'll find us either on Facebook or on YouTube.
All right. Father Carl, thank you for your time.
Thank
God
you.
continue to bless and strengthen you for the work he has in store for you. Thank you for all that you're giving to the community there at Our Lady of Africa, Bronzeville, and to the Archdiocese of Chicago.
Thank you so much for having me. God
All
bless
right.
you.
God bless.